I still remember the way the sheets smelled that morning, like vanilla, sweat, and sin. My husband was 2 states away, texting me good morning and asking how my girls' trip was going. But I was staring at a crumpled napkin with a number scribbled in messy black ink. His name was Leo, 27. A stranger I met on the dance floor who looked at me like I was 20 again, like my body still had magic in it. I told myself it was the tequila, the music, the heat of Kentucky summer.
But the truth is uglier than that.
I wanted to feel desired. I wanted to forget my vows, just for one night. And I did. Now, every time Brandon kisses me, I taste the lie. And the worst part? I locked him out, just to let a stranger in. But if you think that was the end of it, you have no idea what happened next. Before I continue, I just want to say thank you to every single person subscribed to this channel. Your support means the world to me. And to all our new and returning viewers who are yet to subscribe, I truly appreciate you being here. I cannot wait for you to hit that subscribe button. It is the fuel that powers this entire channel. Please do not forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Your voices matter. Now, back to the story.
My name is Ariane.
I am 40 years old, a mother of 2, a wife of 15 years. I live in a quiet suburb of Louisville, Kentucky, with my husband Brandon. He is the kind of man who makes breakfast without being asked and still kisses me on the forehead before work. He trusts me, maybe too much. When I told him I was going on a weekend trip with my high school girlfriends, he smiled and told me to have fun. "You deserve a break," he said. And I believed I did. Life had become routine. I felt like wallpaper, faded, familiar, forgotten. We drove out to Red River Gorge, rented a cabin, and drank wine like we were 21 again. But on Saturday night, the girls wanted to go dancing in Lexington. I hesitated. But peer pressure and 2 glasses of wine later, I was wearing a red dress I had not worn in years. The club was packed,
Loud.
smelling like sweat and cologne. And then I saw him.
Leo.
He had that kind of messy, boyish charm.
Deep eyes.
Quiet confidence. He could have had anyone there. But he walked up to me, tilted his head, and said, "You look like trouble tonight." I laughed. Maybe too hard. Maybe too long. We danced. One song became 3. His hand stayed on my waist longer than it should have. My wedding ring felt like it weighed 1,000 pounds. Then came the drink, and the booth in the back, and the moment our faces were inches apart. "Tell me to stop," he whispered. I never did. That night did not feel like a mistake. It felt like a release, like a storm after months of drought. But when I woke up the next morning, my soul cracked open. The bed was cold. Leo was gone. But he left a napkin on the nightstand with his number. And 4 words that sliced through me. "You needed that too." I froze. What did that mean? Did he see my pain? Or did he only see his own? Stay with me, because what happened after I got home was even worse. The drive back to Louisville felt longer than it should have. I kept hearing his voice, Leo's whisper in my ear, the weight of his hands, the way he said, "You needed that too." I deleted his number from my phone before we even pulled into my driveway. But not before I took a screenshot. I told myself it was just for closure, just in case. But I knew better. Brandon met me at the door with sunflowers, my favorite. He said he missed me, that the house felt empty without me in it. I smiled, kissed him, hugged him longer than usual. But inside, I was dying. That night, when we lay in bed together, I turned away. He reached for me, but I said I was tired. And I was tired of lying, tired of pretending. My body was home, but my mind was locked in a hotel room 2 hours away, tangled in guilt and perfume. The days passed, but the guilt never did. Brandon went back to work. I went back to pretending. I cooked dinner. I laughed at jokes. I kissed the kids goodnight. But every time I caught my reflection, I saw her, the woman who shattered 15 years of trust for one night of lust. Brandon planned a surprise for our upcoming anniversary. He booked a weekend retreat in a cabin just for the two of us. He said he wanted to reconnect. He said he could feel I was distant. He thought it was stress, or hormones, or just
Life.
but it was none of those things. It was Leo. It was me. It was everything I had buried in a shallow grave inside my chest. I started waking up at 3 a.m., sweating. Not from nightmares, but from memories. The way Leo looked at me when I unzipped my dress. The way I let him. The way I wanted him to. I tried to be a good wife again. I wore the perfume Brandon loved. I made his favorite pasta. I laughed at his dad jokes. But I felt like an actress trapped in a never-ending scene. Then one night, while Brandon was brushing his teeth, my phone lit up. A flash of panic hit me. Not because Leo had messaged he never did again, but because I had forgotten that screenshot. The one I told myself I would delete. He picked up my phone to plug it in like he always did, and that was when he saw it. The photo, the napkin, Leo's number, and the message. You needed that too. He did not say a word. He handed me the phone and walked out of the room. The silence that followed was louder than any scream. Stay with me as I will tell you how my world collapsed in a single night. How one mistake became the line I could never uncross. He did not come home that night. Brandon took the car keys, his wallet, and left me standing in the hallway, barefoot, breathless, broken. I kept waiting to hear the front door open again, but it never did. I sent 3 messages, then 5. Then I called. No answer. Around 2 a.m., he finally responded. I saw the screenshot. I need time. That was all. 14 words that tore me apart more than any screaming match ever could. The kids were still asleep the next morning when I sat on the bathroom floor, knees pulled to my chest, shaking. I had destroyed everything. And for what? A man I would never see again? A fleeting night that gave me nothing but guilt? I tried to write a text that would explain. Something that would make it sound like I had been confused.
Lost.
But there are no soft words for betrayal. No way to dress it in honesty. By the time Brandon came home 2 days later, the silence between us was its own language. He looked tired. Not angry, just exhausted. He sat across from me at the kitchen table, and he asked the question I had been dreading. Was it just one night? I nodded. Do you love him? No, I said, barely able to speak. Then why? I opened my mouth, but no words came out. Because how do you explain emptiness? How do you admit that being loved is not the same as feeling seen? How do you tell the man who gave you everything that you let someone else hold you because for a moment you forgot who you were? He stood up, walked to the door, and turned back. You did not just betray me, Aryan. You betrayed us. He stayed at his brother's house for 3 weeks. During that time, I never texted, never called. I wanted to give him space. And maybe I knew I deserved the silence. Leo never reached out again. And I never contacted him. I deleted the screenshot. I blocked the number. But it was too late. The damage was done long before any deletion. Brandon eventually came back. Not with flowers, not with forgiveness, but with questions. Hard ones. And I answered all of them. Truthfully. Painfully. We started therapy. Together. Separately. We're still in it. Some days are okay. Others feel like walking barefoot on shattered glass. I wish I could tell you we are healed. That loved one. That vows are stronger than weakness. But the truth is, I broke something that will never be whole again. If you made it this far, thank you for listening to my story. Some choices echo long after the moment is over. Tell me, what would you do if you were in Brandon's shoes? Or in mine? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Like,
Share.
and if you have not yet subscribed, I would love to have you as part of this growing channel. Your support means more than you know.
Until next time.
Be careful with the lines you cross. Some cannot be undone.